Hello and welcome to Zee Commodity Capsule. Let's begin with the crude oil prices, which have been largely listless today on Friday. But the commodity gained nearly 1.5% in the previous trading session, and Brent crude prices were hovering close to $70 a barrel. But today we have seen there's a tug of war between the demand concerns and the supply concerns. Now, what has really happened is that the prices are hovering in a very tight range, just above $69 a barrel, as concerns of drone attacks on northern Iraqi oil fields with the cut supply wide with worries of potential demand declines amid uncertainty in US trade tariffs. So, these two factors are basically keeping the oil prices in a range. Meanwhile, the US crude futures are also trading in a tight range between $67 and $68 a barrel. Now, 4 days of drone attack on oil fields in Iraqi Kurdistan that shut down half of the region's output have supported the price rise, pushing up by nearly 1.5% on Thursday. But uncertainties around the final US tariff policy, which does not appear to be settled until the 1st of August, is weighing largely on market. For this week, both Brent and WTI crude are down 1%. Coming on to the base metal prices, they are also trading mostly in a range, and in fact, if you see copper prices on LME, they have been range bound between $9,600 and $9,700 a ton for more than 8 sessions in a row. Now, today what has happened is it is mildly supported by stronger than expected US economic data and expectations of increased Chinese buying after some recent dip that the red metal has witnessed. Copper on LME is trading very close to $9,700 a metric ton, but in a range for 8th consecutive session. US retail sales we saw performed better than expected in the month of June. Same was the case with Americans, number of Americans filing new application for unemployment benefits, that has fallen. So, these two along with some other economic factors have turned to be positive, which is why we saw some risk appetite in the equity markets, which are, by the way, trading near their record highs. As far as the stocks are concerned, total copper stocks at LME registered warehouse rose to 35% at the end of June to 1,22,000 tons. Especially the spike was seen in the Asian warehouses. On the other hand, copper imports of unwrought aluminium and products we have seen jumped by nearly 24% YoY in the month of June, which is why we have seen that some of the metals, particularly aluminium and zinc, other than copper, are performing slightly better. Gold prices moved very little on Friday as strong retail sales data boosted the dollar and buoyed the risk appetite, undermining demand for safe havens. Malaysian palm oil, on the other hand, we saw traded higher on Friday. It is headed for third consecutive weekly gain. Palm oil on Bursa Malaysia gained and jumped to nearly 4,300 ringgits per metric ton, and the contract is up nearly 2.7 to 3% for the week.